guys, and welcome to the very first episode of Spilling the Tea, a podcast brought to you by my practice, CJL, Counseling and Associates. And here with me is one of my staff and co-hosts, Denise.
Hi.
So we are here, our first episode, which kind of made sense because we kind of in this COVID period. And I didn't want to talk about COVID, but we are in this COVID period talking about being quarantined with bae-ass and how a lot of these relationships right now are struggling.
Struggling hard with a capital R.
Real hard. I get more crisis phone calls. Chris, can we talk today? I need a session right now before I kill him. It's not working out right now. So definitely thought our first episode should be quarantine with his stinking ass. Just kind of made sense for the first show. So we're going to kind of delve into, because of course we're a mental health practice, so we're going to kind of look at a lot of ways in which the relationship is kind of going wrong. We're going to kind of look at the effects that happens to mind and body when that quarantine with bae-ass is going wrong, and then we're going to kind of look at some ways and tips to kind of put you guys back on track, per se. Kanish, you want to kick us off with some of the top ways that we kind of looked at for how we know.
He's getting on my
He getting on them last nerves.
Oh, there's so many. For starters, I know how I am, and I know I don't like for a lot of people to just lounge on my couch.
For sure.
And you just lounging on my couch with your stinking ass, and you just sleeping there. I don't know when the last time you took a shower.
Nothing.
And now my couch just smelling like all types of
chips.
So it's like, how do we, where is our communication going? How am I supposed to tell my significant other for the 11th time that I don't want you just lounging on my couch like this?
Right.
So where do we go with that? How can I best tell him, and being respectful, to get his little funky ass off my couch?
Not only that one, but how about just kind of the idea that you starting to move different? Like you thinking about when you get outside, he ain't gonna be outside with you. You starting to look for your next Zoom call, and you in the other room all the time without him. You ain't ordered one Amazon board game for you and him to play. Every Amazon purchase, you can order this.
And listen,
for outfit.
How many times a day I gotta cook? You can't get in that kitchen and cook nothing?
Yeah, it started getting rough. And that's not to mention, y'all probably ain't, all these months in the house and no sex.
Or too much sex.
Oh.
It's only so many times I can bend over and bust it open now. Yeah,
this is true. You do you got anything else to offer me besides this? And it make you go, is this relationship it? Is this kind of all he is?
If I could detach my vagina
and
go. Give it to you, would I see you again?
And it make you wonder, is this relationship worth it? Am I quarantined with the right person? You can't help but ask the question. Yeah, I get it. And I mean, it happens a lot. You made me think about, is he going to go in the house and cook, or is she going to go in the house and cook? But what happens when you not cooking for nobody but you?
Right.
Another reason that ooh, this ain't going so well, because I made a whole meal and looked at him like, what you going to eat?
Can I send him to his mama house?
Is she at risk?
Is that my concern? He getting on my nerves right now. I need some space. I need some time apart.
Yeah.
Cause he getting on my nerves. We doing everything together, and then he wanna have his Zoom calls, and he wanna come look at this. I don't want to see your coworker.
And it's funny. It's kind of thinking about right now all we got is Netflix and TV, and we think about maybe reality TV, and he come sit with you, and you like, ooh, you got to watch this with me, we don't got to do nothing together. You don't get ESPN or.
ESPN ain't on. Well, I don't know. Is ESPN on?
I don't know. Is ESPN on? I I don't know.
It might be on reruns.
It could be. It could be, but when y'all ain't doing none of it together, being quarantined is not looking so good.
And it's kind of giving people the opportunity to miss that separate time.
Yeah,
You miss that separate time. Y'all doing everything together now in the same space now, that now you like, it ain't no Bulls game on. Like, you can't go outside and shoot a jump up shot.
No quality time no more. It ain't, baby, I missed you at all.
You done beat all the levels of Call of Duty. Like,
for sure. 2K don't got another 2K, like it ain't no more 2K, huh? Like,
can you go back to 2K12?
Right, start back over the season.
Yes.
That was a good year. Start back over there. Yeah, it get rough, and you definitely start thinking about, is this relationship good for me? But not only that, like, it becomes mentally draining.
Yeah.
Really, like, mentally, emotionally, like, I don't know if I can do this permanently. And it actually spews over into everything else we think about. Now work is draining, and now the kids are draining, and now Zoom calls with my girlfriends for our wind down Wednesday is draining. All of it kind of becomes a thing if the thing that you thought was safe is no longer safe. And so here we are, kind of talking about they ass and how do I get away, or how do I fix it?
Right. Do I want to fix it?
That part.
Have I been quarantined with this person so long now that I'm beginning to see the holes that are in our relationship?
Yeah.
And am I now looking at it and wondering if this is really the person that I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with?
Right.
So, some people are walking through the hallways and they're shadows of each other, not saying anything.
I got a couple like that. One of the couples that I'm seeing, maybe about 3 weeks ago, she was like, "Can I see you individually?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, what's going on? Is it, I'm like, I don't keep secrets, so is it something I need to know? Because I'm going to tell them." And she said, "No, I just need to, check in about something." I'm like, "Okay." So, we met, and she was like, "I've been thinking I don't want to be with him no more."
Oh my, okay.
I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "What's going on?" She was like, "We've been in the house together a long time now, like almost 5 weeks, and I don't think I really like him." Like, he went to work, our schedules was kind of opposite, so we kind of had a lot of passing time, and that passing time was good enough. And now that we both in the house, it's making me think this not a good idea. And like, I don't ever want to make him some food. I don't ask him if he want to watch a movie. He touched me sometimes, and I'm kind of like, "Dad, you just touched me yesterday." I'm like, "Ooh, okay." So definitely, this time in the house is definitely reflective of, is this relationship kind of what I want it to be? And if not, but at the same time, she said, "But I ain't nothing I can do because we quarantined." So if I say something about some of the things I'm feeling, like the tension that's going to come in the house, I'm not trying to handle either.
Yeah.
So what I'm supposed to do? So then I'm thinking of another couple. I literally think every week they like, "Can we have an extra emergency?" It's like an emergency appointment.
Oh my.
We'll meet, say, on a Monday. By Thursday, I'm getting a text from one of them going, "Hey, we need to come back in. Can we Zoom? Can we talk on the phone? Can we come in because we got into another argument?" That's common, the arguments.
Yeah.
The little thing, every little thing is beginning to become a big thing.
Now, with what you're seeing, how much of those arguments are because finances are being strained?
Let me think. Well, it's funny. One of them, I have a couple where the wife had like this really great plan to kind of get their finances together. And husband was kind of like, "Yeah, no, I'm not trying to have you in all the control of all the money." And when him and I talked last week a little more, because we've kind of been talking about this thing for a few weeks, he kind of said a lot about like this period is uncertain, and her being in all that control right now. I feel like because of COVID, I should be the one kind of trying to know what steps to take and know what to do next. And I kind of feel out of control. And COVID almost has him kind of stuck where he doesn't know what to do.
So COVID is exposing the flaws that are in people's relationship.
Yeah. I mean, another couple, they almost weekly ask for an emergency appointment. They're drinking a lot more in the house. So it's not, then the drinking is pulling out.
The truth serum.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to tell you about you and your bald head mama.
For sure. It's all the ugly. What is it? What's that saying? Like, drunk thoughts speak a sober mind?
Something like that.
All them thoughts. And so that's definitely, so they're all different, I would think. But it's definitely still hovering in being like stuck. That idea of being stuck with somebody you ain't been stuck with that many hours of the day. Because normally we go to work, we come home, we do the kids. By the time you actually really kind of doing the spouse part or the partner part, y'all got a good hour.
Because you got to unwind from the kids.
Right.
Somebody had to cook some dinner. Somebody had to do
shower.
homework. We took showers. You got to decompress from your day on the way home.
Right.
And now there's none of that.
Yeah, now I'm just looking at you on the couch.
With your stankin' ass.
You ain't shaved, you ain't showered, you ain't waxed, you ain't combed your hair, you ain't put on pants. You just...
And even from the male point of view, now I gotta look at you and I didn't know your eyebrows connect. You used to keep that together. Now, I know you used to go to Mei-Ling and Mei-Ling will hook you up. But you got to know how to do a little bit of that yourself now.
And that pretty curl you got, I always thought it would pull my fingers through it all nice and natural. Now it's starting to, my fingers getting cut.
Like I know you got some wigs stashed somewhere around here. Going to slap that across your forehead now, so that you can look like something. You can wear something other than my sweats all day.
Yeah, it's funny because the idea of how natural now is it's just you ain't even natural no more. You just unkept.
Yeah,
you are unkept. You are not even at all trying.
You ain't a damsel in distress. You a disheveled damsel. Like go comb something, put something on some of the time.
Sometimes.
And like there has to be times where you're still able to get fancy for your mate. Now granted, we're not going nowhere but maybe on the back porch, maybe to the living room couch after the kids go to bed. But there still has to be something.
For sure.
We can't get too far into this rut where we're just waking up and brushing. Hopefully you brush a tooth or two or three maybe.
Then just take them out the little pack that's right there, that the little water with the bubbles and stuff that be in there.
You got to do a little bit more. Because this is going to be a time where, like I said, it's exposing the flaws in your relationship. So now that the flaws are being exposed, what you do with them?
Yeah, for sure.
Because we can't just say, we've been quarantined for what, a month and a half now?
I think we, third week in March, I think, because schools was closed the last 2 weeks of March. So we got all of April, the last 2 weeks of March, and we, second week in May? So we moving into 8 weeks.
Yeah. So if we've been quarantined together for roughly 8 weeks, now for one, in order for you guys to be cohabitating, you've been together for quite some time. Are we really finna allow almost 8 weeks to tear apart?
The whole thing. Yeah. I don't know. Because fairly, thinking as other couple, two women that I'm seeing, and they met only 8 months ago. Well, they got, it's rooms around, anyway, U-Haul truck scenarios. But they had got together about 8 months ago, had only been dating maybe a month. I think by the third month, something about one of their leases was going up, and it just made sense because one was north and one was south. excuses, and they decided to move in together. And then here we are. It was like after they moved in 3 months later, they now quarantined together. And now they like, oh, maybe we should have dated a little longer.
Yeah, that representative falling off.
Because they are literally going toe to toe. Like physically, they are physically fighting.
Oh, wow.
Physically. I've heard of, let me see, we have walked through 4 different domestic situations between them.
Oh, my.
All of them different, but all of them still hovering around this idea of, really, I didn't know she did this. Well, I didn't know, she was really like this. All of that stuff is just kind of coming out because there's nothing else to do but kind of reflect.
Yeah, and because I'm just sitting here looking at you.
And
just
while
I'm looking at you, I'm thinking. Because there's only so much cleaning you can do, so much laundry that can be done. So now that I've done all of those things. I had cleaned the baseboards. I took out the blinds. Remember you used to wash the blinds as a kid? Yep.
Yeah, I done all that. And now I'm looking at you on my couch playing 2K12, even though I told you to play 2K12.
And you didn't do a damn thing to help me get through any of it. And if we're going to talk about being quarantined with Bae, we cannot not talk about the side chick. For some of us, that side chick or that side dude
made that house
in our relationship
made that house
together.
Everything. It made the house work.
Because when I get tired of you, I can go run over here, get my act right, and then I can come back home and be pleasant.
Like, baby, what would you like me to do for you right now?
And now I'm mad and I'm building resentment.
And I can't tell you about it. We can't talk about that. I had this thing over here, and sometimes it made me feel good, and now I gotta sit here and only look at you with them connecting eyebrows. We can't even talk about it.
And she sent me a picture, and her eyebrows don't connect.
Yes, she did. Of course she did. Like,
but she's sitting here in this bonnet that smell like ass.
Cause he looking at you too. He looking like, damn it, and she looking like, So both of them reflecting.
Yeah.
And both of them, and not communicating. That thing you talked about when we first started. Neither of them are actually talking about ways to actually connect. Only looking at, damn, I'm stuck right here. And he keeps saying we can't go outside for 30 more days.
Yep.
30 more days adding up. Like, when is phase 3? What? Stay in the house. Please, y'all stay in the house. I am trapped for sure. Yeah.
So how we move past? How do we get through these flaws? They here, they smacking us in the face. And I don't believe in pulling the rug over the hole that's in the floor. The more you walk over that rug, the bigger that hole is gonna get, and then eventually you're gonna step on it and fall.
We all got fall through. We all got fall through. It's kind of an idea. You can you see the hole and you can oh, it's just a little hole. It's cool. And you walk around, you're like, that's nothing. And it'll get a little bigger. Then you step over the hole. Like, oh, don't walk over there. There's a hole, so you can kind of walk around. But then at some point,
you can't go around it.
Can't go around it.
It's looking at you.
You are in it. What are you gonna do? And that's kind of the same thing I said to one of my couples, the female who had said, like, I don't know if I want to do this no more. It was a kind of a, what do you want to do? Like, you want to talk, or you just want to sit here and just be mad at him? Like, does he know any of these things you talking about? Like, all of these complaints you got, has he heard one of them? Fairly, in the last 3 weeks that we didn't met, I ain't even know none of these complaints. So in the place that you deem as safe, it ain't even came up here. So like, when do we actually talk about it? Like, or you just waiting to get out?
How do I tell him?
So it makes me think about this couple that I was once seeing. They weren't having sex, and
that's tragic.
it is. And husband wanted to tell his wife that she smelled.
In what way?
Well, the lady parts.
Oh. musty smell or a tuna?
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I didn't want to ask that question, but he wanted the intimacy with her. Like he wanted it, she wanted it, and she knew something was off.
Okay.
She had a baby.
Okay.
And he felt like something changed afterwards, and that she just wasn't as invested.
That's a common complaint after a baby.
Yeah. And so the question became like, how do I tell her, like, you want me to go down there? I need you to,
Scrub a little bit more. Smell like raw sewage.
Just a little bit more Bath and Body. Can you get us a little more Bath and Body? So, and like I told him, honestly, it's no way around some of the hard talks. Hard talks are needed. And if you do have a therapist in the space, like, we can help move some of the emotional stuff and keep it kind of grounded in a logical space, and we can use the emotions well. But it definitely requires, hard talks need real, true honesty. Not meanness, but I feel, I need, I want, can I have, questions, and just truly a place of not, you ain't been washing up, so I don't know if I can go down there, versus I need to be more intimate with you, and I would like for you to take extra showers, or take a bath once a week.
Take your ass to the doctor. Something wrong. Don't say it like that, though. Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that. Listen to Chris.
For sure, but
one of my rules of thumb is, in relationships, never allow your words to be used as a weapon.
For sure.
So if what I'm about to say to you, there's a way to communicate my thoughts in as coming from the male mind frame. Lots of times men will just say, well, I'm just honest. You're going to get this honesty, have it come out. There's a way to be honest and still be tactful at the same time. You don't have to sugarcoat it. But if you know your girl, you know your guy, you know what's going to get a rise out of them. Yeah. And lots of times, especially us women's, we like to say things to purposely get a reaction out of somebody. Sure. So sometimes when you're looking for that reaction, it may not come out how you anticipated it coming out. Yeah. And then there's a backlash that goes along with that, where maybe 3 weeks from now, when you trying to be all lovey-dovey and cuddly, he still remember when you call his mama a bald-head hoe. There's ways to say things without having to make that extra jab.
One of the things that I highly emphasize and teach with couples is a thing called gentle startup. It's really important for both the man and female, because if it's harsh, you gonna create a physiological response. It's gonna send my blood pressure up. Yeah. And now I'm flooded. So I'm not going to even process what you're telling me. I'm not going to be able to see the humor in it. I'm not going to be able to take it lightly. Nothing about what you're going to say to me is going to register. I'm going to become defensive. And the only thing I can do then is attack. Yep. And so that idea of the gentle startup, and its ways to help a couple learn how to do a gentle startup, is really important, because the research is very clear on things that destroy a relationship. Being harsh is one of them. There is no room in it for it to kind of make it. It's kind of one of what we would call, in the work we do, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And that harsh startup is one of them, for sure. And so you got to be able to communicate in a way that's safe and honest, and it needs to be reflective really of where you are, versus this idea of how I can attack you.
And be honest with what you're feeling. So if I'm feeling a certain way and I'm getting ready to let all these colorful words fly out my mouth, because of how I'm feeling, they're going to come out a certain way. So the tone of your voice, the cadence of your speech, all of that is important. The inflections that you have in your voice, all of those things matter. I can say, baby, you musty. and that be received in a totally different way from
Yeah,
you must
right.
like it's you can say the exact same thing, but how you say it matters.
Yeah, and it got me thinking, if we go back to this idea of COVID, mentally our space is already different in our brain. We are already in a different space. Like, I watch on social media the amount of judgment on who got on a face mask, who's 6 feet, who was in the house, who was. We don't ask those questions about people going raw with him and her. We ain't asking those questions about certain blocks that people standing on, like what you do. We ain't asking those questions when you call your weed man before the weed man was legal. So now all of a sudden we got a whole lot. Our anxiety right now is at a whole different place, and so it's you can't have a harsh startup. You can't just tell me any old way, because right now my any old way, I'm already emotional. I'm already tired of being in the house. I'm already looking at your ass funny. Anyway, wondering if I can get outside and go talk to somebody else. Like, Bae went on ahead and shaved. She normally waxed, but side girl over there, she ready for me. She went on ahead and said she can come get it. So I'm already looking at you funny. So it is super important right now in like how we kind of say a thing. As I'm thinking about it, not just how, but do I want the relationship? Because how I say it is a direct indicator of if I really want change or if I really want like us to be better. I could be saying it because I want to piss you off so you can go on ahead and walk up on out of here. So do you want to fix it, or do you want to set it off? And that really is, I think, a key variable, which is what one of the questions. So you in or no?
Right. And I need you in with 2 feet. Right.
So before we even talk about this, because I don't want to half-ass in. Either we in this and we gonna fix it and I'm gonna help y'all, or we not, and that's cool. Like, you out. Like, ain't no shame if you out. But we can't half-ass in. Like, I don't even know how. So.
And don't stay for the kids either.
That's dead.
Don't stay for the kids.
We still buy time because it's gonna end still. You then got that one foot out if it's for the kids. It is just enough to get me by. Which I have a couple right now who I both have said they're there for the kids.
Yep.
Their kids are 2 and 4.
Ooh, that's a long time to be there.
Long time to be there for the kids. They ain't had sex in 2 years. Since the last
with each other or period?
So I don't want to believe either one of them. Let them both tell it. They have been faithful the entire time. Faithful to being nothing, because they're not having sex.
Wow.
There's nothing happening.
I can't imagine that. Got me uncomfortable. You
didn't change your seat position. Yeah, 2 years. They're little, so the baby is, I think he's 3 in December. So he's about 2.5. So they had sex when they told me soon after her like 6 week or so, like soon after a checkup-ish for the new baby. So that was the last time they had sex, and it went downhill from there.
Now, I'm not an advocate for cheating at all. I believe that if you need to step outside of your marriage, then you just need to go ahead and end the relationship, be it a marriage, a partnership, whatever it is that you're in. If you're going to cheat, then go ahead and just end it completely.
But let me tell you what I was thinking, since you bring it up. Because I don't condone cheating either. However, this husband has done everything. When I say everything, to fairly, he was acting up like he wasn't a good husband. He owns it. Like, I wasn't present for the baby. I was just working. I made her have it. I wasn't this. Like, I was out with my boys. I was kicking it, having a good time. I didn't really take the responsibility of the new kid serious. And when he did, I mean, he has made every possible way he could to turn it around, be present. He's home 1 day a week. So she can go off and have the day to herself. You talk about all the love languages. He has mastered all of them for her. It don't matter what her love language is. He has attuned to all of them. And she's like, no, I'm good. We can play chess and maybe that might help me grow a little closer to you. I swear that was what she said. And literally,
wow.
he asked, like, I finally got them to giving each other a massage. We moved finally up to a fake touch. Not for the very first time yesterday, I saw her in our session touch his hand. I've been seeing him for 4 months. She had never touched him one time in session. He would lean to her or lean in, he would go, baby, and you would see her kind of like do like this slide away. And it was nasty. She's made no efforts until where literally recently she said, I'm okay if we don't have sex. That's not our relationship no more. I was like, in my mind, I said, boo, she just gave you the pass. That was it. Because if you ain't leaving and she ain't leaving, what you gonna do? I'm looking up at him like, this juicy now because I want to know what's about to happen. Because I almost lost my whole frame because I was like, woman, what? This your husband? What you just say to him?
Cause and not even about him being able to get his needs met. What about her?
She said she good.
What?
Listen.
Now, okay, cause is this a situation where she is afraid to have another child?
No. So it's funny. She had made a comment about because he had said to her, you used to be intimate and affectionate with me when we first got together in our first few years. They've been together now about 7 years. 6 years, I'm sorry. And he said, what happened? Her response was, that was the honeymoon phase in our relationships that end. I'm like, what? So her view of how relationships go, I add to it in her own personal, her family dynamics. She's not used to I love you. Her parents didn't say those things. They weren't an affectionate family. So she's easily cut off. She even had said that like when she goes to like when they would do like social gatherings, she would prepare herself for the idea that she had to hug people. Like, okay, I gotta hug, I gotta do this thing. So affection is not like she did it.
But it wasn't genuine. It wasn't authentic.
It was the representative. I was getting the man, got the man, and now the man is like, well, we quarantined. I thought we would, get closer since we in this house together. Like this is a perfect moment for us to really grow back our relationship. This is it. And she like, no, I'm good. I'm like, well, boo, when you get that go ahead to get outside, what you gonna do?
Oh wow, that's deep.
Yeah. And I don't ever condone cheating, but I was like, but they both want to stay for the kids. They want to stay, and oddly, not gonna say oddly, it's a good thing. He loves her. Like he wants the marriage. He also recognizes right now she is not there, and she's not really trying to be. And this quarantine, this is one of my couples that probably I do an extra session almost every week with because it is brutal. Him trying to connect and her like, and when they wasn't quarantined, the lack of connection worked because they didn't see each other.
In passing.
Yeah. And so it was good enough, and then you got new babies, you got new kids, you busy. You got the kids. You don't got time to really worry about if he gonna touch me, and you can kind of even fall like, oh, I'm so tired. The kids exhausted me. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Right. And see, now I know the kids ain't wear you out because I'm here too. I'm
here. I see.
And you done sent them to me about 5 hours out of this 8-hour time period.
Little Timmy, he been sitting there at the TV the last 5 hours. How he wearing you out? He not wearing you out. I see Timmy cool. We can sneak over here in the room.
And I can wear you out.
She like, oh, well, now she got to own it. I don't want it. And so it's really like reflection, this quarantine time, it's highlighting relationships in ways that is crazy.
Yeah.
It's a couple, anyone knows I got the new puppy. And so we're in the backyard. I feed him at 6 a.m. and we go outside probably between like 6:45, 7:15, somewhere in there. And the couple is the couple across the street. Literally, their backyard can't be more than like 15 by 15. It's not a huge space. It's an average little square. It's almost like enough for like a 2-car garage. That's literally, but it's just out. It's an open space. Them two are outside walking literally in a square. The perimeter of the backyard, side by side, every single morning. Just walking. There is complete silence, but they have figured out a routine, a ritual. It's theirs though. They have something that belongs to them. And they are outside. I look for them now. Like, oh, look at, there's that couple. And I like it. Like, they're doing it together. Who knows what's happening inside? But so from the outside right now, all I got is, here is a couple trying to figure out how to make coupling work.
Right, quality time. Yeah. And not all the time does quality time have to include conversation. Just the mere fact that we're in this, doing this together, side by side, that for some people is enough.
Yeah, for sure. Which made me think about like those board games from Amazon. Like, it's a lot of things. We don't have to necessarily be having these, Ayana moments where we like coming to Jesus. But we could play games. We can find a new Netflix series that we gonna binge together. We can clean the kitchen together in silence. Like, it's a lot of things that we can just do to really bring us back together, which is communication. It's just a nonverbal form of connection. Right. That I think a lot of these couples right now is kind of like, I'm so tired of being here. I can't see how I'm gonna do those things. Like, how do I see doing the things in the house and making it good when I'm tired of being in the house? Like, they almost don't go together. Like,
right. So how do we fix that? How do we fix that mentality of, I'm tired of being here? So what do we do next? I know this is how I feel. What do I do with my feelings?
Yeah. I mean, one of the big things I think a lot of people are doing is this look forward piece. Like, I'm tired of being in the house. I can't wait till I miss this. So it's kind of a look backwards and a look forward versus kind of a in the moment. Where am I right now? How can I just appreciate this moment right here, the here and now moment? Like, what good thing can come out of today? Like, how can I be appreciative even if something small today? I made my new favorite meal. I talked to a girlfriend I ain't talked to in a long time, versus, man, I miss my girlfriend I ain't seen in 5 years. Don't do that. Today, did you hold a conversation you haven't held in 5 years? That's the highlight versus this whole backwards, forwards piece.
Okay.
I think staying present more is really important. Oddly, be reflective, but be reflective not about what's going wrong, but what's going well. And if we are going to do this foreshadowing in the future planning thing, we should be planning the positive. Like, I can be stacking I didn't pay, boy, sitting in the house, not from no gas to no eating out to no in the bar buying drinks to all of these things I'm not doing. The amount of money that I have physically saved and been able to pay off things has been crazy. Like, I'm excited. Like, I mean, like, how are you? I paid off another credit card. Oh, okay. Okay, my bowels are bad. That's great, but I paid off a credit card. My conversations are completely different because I'm looking at, if I'm gonna be thinking about what isn't happening, what can I be doing with this time to make it just good for me? They got project management coupons on Groupon. Like, who knew you could be a project manager from Groupon? I think it's $9. I saw Facebook advertise being a project manager for $49. So you can probably get a whole new career if you look into it. It's probably some careers out here. You can get certificates right now in just about anything.
Yeah, because even Harvard was offering free online courses.
Who I would love to say I go to Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even bold enough to apply to Harvard. And I think I'm smart, but I didn't apply to Harvard at all. But if I can get a free Harvard, I go to Harvard.
Right.
You don't gotta know what kind of Harvard I'm doing, but I go to Harvard. I want to say that. I actually might go on there and say one of them classes. Why not? Give me some Harvard education.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good stuff right there.
And then they give you something else to do when you quarantine.
And you ain't looking at his ass no more because you doing something.
Doing something, right. And you're not able to just sit and think about all the things that gets on your nerves about your mate.
Right.
Do something reflective for yourself.
Right.
And I think that it's also important that we give each other permission to be honest.
Right.
And there has to be a space where you remove the emotion so that you can accept their honesty and then you can work through it.
Right.
Because those emotions can sometimes get us in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
A lot of trouble. So because I'm in my feelings and you came and told me I'm musty, now I got an attitude with you. Because even if I make this personal and I add some transparency to it, there was a time period where my employer went 3 months without paying me. I'm going to work every day.
Yeah.
And there's 3 months without pay. The pay is coming, I just don't know when. And my partner came home from work and he asked me a simple question. What's for dinner? When I say I went off, I went all the way off. Because in my mind, for me, being a partner is very important. Being a helpmate is very important to me. And for me, you just brought your rabbit ass in this house and asked me what was for dinner. I'm not getting a paycheck, so I can't help you buy groceries.
Yeah.
And that's where I went with it.
Yeah.
I don't have the money to buy groceries, and you got the audacity to come in here and ask me what's for dinner? He didn't know that all of that was going through my mind.
Yeah.
All he know is that I just went off, and he was like, I'm going to go get a pizza. He walked out slowly. And I never communicated that to him.
Because, I think this happens, though. The more common response, which I'm happy you were honest about, is to actually go off before you communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew you wasn't getting, so being a helpmate is important. You know the idea of partnership is important.
Mm-hmm.
You also know your ass ain't got no money.
Right.
So at what point, though, would it have made more sense to be proactive and go, while y'all laying in the bed watching TV, babe, I've been thinking. I'm starting to have some feelings about this whole no money scenario.
Right.
Can I just letting you know, like, I'm not my helpmate self right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not where I want to be. I'm not doing it the way I want to do it. So I'm preparing you. I got some extra. I'm a little emotional. I'm a little something. How come you didn't proactively say that first?
It wasn't my reflex. My reflex was just defense.
Yeah.
And so since I felt like he was coming at my throat, like this was an attack, and you just came in attacking my character. So now since you attacking me, I got to come back and lash back on you.
Yeah.
And that it was completely unfair.
Yeah.
And a lot of people may be experiencing that now. You're having your own thoughts. You're going through this internally, and then your partner comes home and asks you a simple question, something that they would ask every day. What's for dinner?
Yeah.
And you just go completely off the deep end. Or you watching that show again and you just go completely off the deep end.
It just got me thinking, though, like, we're saying communicate,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to. So that's the thing. A lot of couples, though, you're trained. You are a trained professional.
Mm-hmm. And I still went off,
And
clean
you
off.
still went off.
Yep.
So imagine then the untrained professional.
Exactly.
How much harder is it for that person to be able to then introspect almost and go, okay, wait a minute, my bad. I realized what it was. Because most people might ride the whole wave.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you rude. I've been working all day. Like, here you come in asking for cooking. How about you cook sometimes? How about, you make the meal and ask me, do I want to just go lay down? Like, we might ride that whole wave until we can't ride it no more. So the idea of always reflecting and going, oh, so I get what this is about. This is about some of my core values of being a helpmate and being a good partner. That's not likely. What is likely is what you said. I'm just going to go off. And if I go off, how do these couples figure it out? Quarantine, because I'm still stuck with you.
Right.
So now we just ain't going to talk for about 4 days because, I got a whole lot going on because I'm quarantined and I'm stuck and Princeton went 30 more days and Auntie Lori on it. Like, she on all the blocks talking about going to the house.
Yep.
So at what point do I actually get to a place to where I can, or how do I communicate preemptively kind of what's happening for me? Like, and I think that's where it is. It's like you said, it's be honest, be transparent. It's like I said, I statements and what I need, but how do you do that if you got all the anxiety about everything else and you're not used to doing it? I'm used to my initial response. I'm going to go off. And I think that's where we really have to, I think people just in general just need to know, whether you know it or not, COVID is changing you.
Yes.
Like, you might think you good, you not. And so some things you should just directly be thinking about is, what is going on with me? What are my values? What are my things that trigger me? What are some of the things I'm worrying about? And just on GP, let me go on ahead and tell you.
And if you need to make a list of those things, go ahead and make a list of those things. What is it that I need for me? What amount of space do I need for me? Now, once I get me together and the things that I need for me, then okay, what do we need as a couple?
Right.
What would I like to see more of? What would I like to see less of? And put that on a list. And you can even make a list for your mate. What would I like to see differently from my mate at this time? Because this right here ain't working for me. So write all of those things down. Be able to sit down and have an honest conversation with your mate and say, hey, this is what I've been thinking about. Can you share your ideas with me? Don't come at them saying what they need to do. Because the minute you tell somebody what they need to do, they're going to tell you what you need to do.
Again, so earlier I had brought up the 4 horse for the apocalypse. The second one, another one, defensiveness, is a direct, again, hard startups and defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling. Those are the 4. So any of those, being defensive is definitely another clear indicator that a relationship will fail.
How do I know I'm being defensive?
First offending, by definition. And then kind of this idea of I feel on the spot. And it's a feeling like, or a rebuttal. So why are you asking me that? Like, what you mean? Why am I doing whatever? Or I would only do it if you wasn't.
Right.
Kind of if you.
That tit for tat type deal.
At that point, you know. But I think a thing that happens in couples, and I see it because I always have to interject and go, hey, we're being defensive right now. Because they don't tend to see it. You don't, in yourself, like, it's funny because people always think us therapists should have like the best of every relationship because, you know, we the therapists and we should just know. But when we're in our own thing, it's kind of hard to come outside your own body and see when something is not going well. Right. But so it has to kind of at some point be this idea that somebody in a relationship can throw up a red flag or pause and go, hey, something is off here, like keyword monkey balls, and like throw the whole thing off and make it stop for a second. Something has to be triggered to let a couple know we ain't here, like we not doing this thing properly. Otherwise, that quarantine gonna go worse. Like if you think it's bad now, get into a real argument and stonewall and avoid or be defensive or continue the harshness and attacks. That we still got good. We easily got 3 more weeks. Maybe we'll move to phase 3. Maybe. So
at some point, somebody has to be able to say, let's stop.
Yeah.
This isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Let's stop, let's sit down, and let's figure this out.
Yeah, for sure.
But somebody has to be able to do that.
And we're talking right now about the likelihood is that in the moment you're going to argue.
Yeah.
That you're not going to be reflective and proactive.
Mm-hmm.
But I am encouraging couples to recognize everything about our life right now is different. We're getting less sunlight, so our sleep should be off because we are regulated in a lot of ways by the sun. Our structure and everything is different. Having routine literally helps our bodies know when it's time to rest. It helps us store memory. It helps us process. It helps with anxiety. So everything about our normal life, for the most part, working from home with kids has to be probably one of the most hardest things I have ever experienced in all my life. It is the dumbest thing I think I've ever done. I mean, it's stupid. Like, I mean, legitimately it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So that in and of itself, we are doing things that I ain't ever gonna do again. If school don't go back in the fall, my kids are going back somewhere. I don't know where they're going to, but somebody got to go somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't stay with me. Like from 8 to 3, something got to happen with these
Mm-hmm.
kids. Period. Like the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to work from home no more.
I know that's
I don't want Zoom call.
Mm-hmm.
I don't wanna.
Mm-hmm.
I need something. And so if we think about right now, and we stuck doing this though, I keep saying what I ain't gonna do, but right now we are stuck in this thing. How do I recognize that this thing is affecting me?
Mm-hmm.
And how do I move with it? How do I respect it,
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it, use it to my advantage, make it so that I am not literally looking at Bay ass like you are ugly now.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you was ugly before, and I just, like some of the things you did at night. But you are ugly,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like you. Like how? And really just be honest and say in the moment, I'm feeling some kind of way. I don't know what my feelings are. I don't know if I'm angry. I don't know if I'm frustrated, if I'm whatever I am, but I am.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to work on us in a way that's good before we go bad.
Yeah, because a lot of people aren't doing their date nights anymore.
Yeah.
Your date nights are still important. So how do we still get the date nights in? And it can be something as simple as, baby, go get dressed. I'm a cook dinner tonight. I got the kids already situated.
Yeah.
Once they get down for, you can still have your date nights at home.
For sure.
So you can still do some of those same things and maintain your routines, but you have to commit to those things.
For
You
sure.
got to give yourself permission to be honest with yourself. You can't be honest with your partner if you're not being honest with yourself. So be honest with yourself, be honest with your partner. We said communicate using I statements.
I want, I need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We also said remove the emotion so that you can communicate from a place that's authentic and organic.
For sure.
We said don't use words as weapons.
Yeah.
So you don't have to take that extra jab. I don't need to know my mama bald head and that's how you feel about it. I don't need to know all that. Keep that part to yourself.
Because she already know it, and we know it, and we talked about it at family dinner.
Mm-hmm. And we also have to find those intimate moments. And intimacy does not all the time have to be about sex. It does not have to
It
be
is
penis,
the brush
vagina.
When you walk past in the hallway and he nicely brush your thigh or your hip or your lower back, or it's the couple in my office yesterday that literally when she touched his hand, I spoke to it. Like I was like, whoa, like I really want to like. This moment makes me happy. Like you touched him, like that matters. Like those small things for sure. Massages and showers together, or you laying next to each other watching a movie. Take a nap together. Like naps are life to me. So you offer me a nap, we might be in this thing forever.
And I get you don't want him watching your shows with you from time to time. But because he asks too damn many questions or she asking too many damn questions and she don't understand that there's no field goals in football. But take that time to explain it to her beforehand, so that when it comes on, you're not getting frustrated that he's asking another damn question and he don't understand why Nene mad at Kenya. Like, explain it to him beforehand, so then, and also let him know or let her know that it bothers you to have to answer questions while the show is on.
And also taking advantage to use this time when life is back open up. Y'all will be back in passing, and you'll be like, I miss you, I'll never see you, you ain't never around. Side chick matter, because she got time. So use this time to make time. Like, bring him into one of your shows. Men do gossip shows and drama shows too, and women can do sports stuff and whatever other boy things. I don't know all the boy things, but First 48, is that a boy thing?
Because I watched First 48.
Oh,
so that one can go both ways.
Okay. Well,
but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you know,
include them into your world.
Yeah, purposely bring them in. Like, you know, pick a rerun or something. I don't know, but bring them in. Like, you have to, and y'all should still be sexting and texting and from the other room. Like, baby, what you in there doing? You naked? You know I'm naked, but or say something like, baby, I ain't naked. You want to take my clothes off? Like, no, because the kid's literally right here too. But it don't matter. Y'all playing. Like, it's okay to do those things.
Figure out a way to bring the fun into your
the house you trapped in, for sure. Bring it in there, because you are already quarantined beyond the relationship. You have 1 million things happening legitimately that are affecting you. So the last thing you need to make as odd as it is, make the relationship the priority. Something has to be going okay in the quarantine with his ass. Like, something has to go okay. So, I don't know. Here we are. This was good.
It was. Hopefully the people have learned something.
And next week, we talking Molly.
Insecure Molly?
We are going with Insecure Molly.
Oh, because I got a couple
going to
of
friendships
Mollys.
Next week. We are moving into friendships. We did relationships, but I think it's time to let's do some friendship stuff and talk about Molly.
Okay.
So I hope everybody been caught up, because, you know, I'm good for the spoilers. If you know me, you know I'll spoil something in a minute. So y'all better be caught up, because I am not going to not say what happened in the episode. I am not going to do none of that. I am going to wholeheartedly bring it like for what it is. So don't get mad at me talking about, Chris, I'm blocking you until the show over. We doing Molly. We are doing Molly. So tune in next week. Spilling the tea.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.